right. Yes, we did it. Haha. So it says the show, and this is on what's on Netflix, and this was on the February 18th, 2025. It was published at 9:14 a.m. And it says Heartstopper season 4 future in doubt. Alice Oseman shares a new update. The show is still waiting on official renewal following season 3 premiere last year. So we're going to take some excerpts so you can actually read this further. But I did read the article, and basically, Alice is indicating that she is working on the final volume, volume 6 of Heartstopper, the graphic novel, has already had 50 pages finished, and but already knows the dialogue. And now she's just sitting down and drawing it, which is her favorite part. And she's really excited to see what is happening and going forward with the story. But it's also very bittersweet and sad. Now, what she says later on, I was like, oh my gosh, this kind of get me worried when I'm reading it. She goes, I've been praying to the gods, begging on my knees, having nightmares about regularly about the show getting a proper ending. And I was like, oh, that's not good, especially because you're involved in these conversations. And it says, of course, since October 2024, all has been quiet on the renewal of Heartstopper. Things have been silent on the future, unlike season 2 and 3, and that was renewed very quickly after season 1. When you're quiet beyond 3 to 6 months at Netflix, that usually doesn't mean a good sign. And I was like, oh no, this article, no, what are you doing to me? So then you have Alice saying, I'm working very hard behind the scenes to get us a renewal for Heartstopper. It is still ongoing. We don't have a final answer yet, but there's many people behind the scenes who are working really hard to make it happen. We're feeling optimistic, we're feeling hopeful, and hopefully we'll be able to share some news about something soon, sometime soon. Fingers crossed. Thank you so much for watching. So, at the one thing they did mention in the article is that at the UK Netflix convention that they have over there, they did not have references to Heartstopper in regards to their presentation, which is kind of concerning because, at least for Europe, you would think that it would be referenced because one, this show is based and set in Europe and the UK. So a little concerning and scary there that there's no mention. Now, what I want to do is go on my list of the pros and cons of the potential for season 4. Again, I have no influence, but this is just me talking, and hopefully someone at Netflix goes, hey, that guy who has very little views, he said this. So the final season of Heartstopper, right? So what one of the positives is that, yeah, the author indicated that she has and is ending the book with volume 6, and basically is only asking for one more season. That the final season 4 of Heartstopper, the show, would be based on volume 6 of the graphic novel. So it's not like you're looking beyond Netflix, like saying, oh, why renew? That we're already seeing a ratings drop, you know? Well, it's the final season, so you could put a bookend to the series and not just have a content library of a whole bunch of dead content. Now, you already have the source material basically being written as we speak, so that's going to make the creative process much more easier, in my view, right? Not only that, you have Kit Connor and Joe Locke actually really doing well in their careers. You have Kit Connor recently going to be in a war movie that's being released. I forgot the name of it, but hey, that's going to be in theaters. You also have Kit Connor, who just finished his run of Romeo and Juliet. I think it's finishing in Broadway. And the audiences for that show, for the younger audience, is well beyond the norms for any other Broadway show, which is really positive, for that industry to have young audiences be introduced to Broadway. Hopefully, is going to have them bleed over into other Broadway productions and musicals, that audience, which will increase the revenue of that. And it would just be like a catalyst there. Now, lots of people are going there, which shows the positive influence of Heartstopper and Netflix because of watching the show on Netflix. So that's contributing to ticket sales. So you could see there is financial benefits here. You just have to be able to tap into it. Now, for Joe Locke, he is recently an Agatha all along, and his character is gay, right? So people watching that will go, hey, I like this actor. What other content is he in? Oh, wow, another show about queer characters? Yeah, I'm going to want to watch that. And a new audience gets introduced to this. Now, like I said, Joe Locke and Kit Connor have a lot more probably in their future. I mean, being in the MCU, Joe Locke, which I found funny because his character Charlie does not like Marvel movies, so that's interesting. And then here he is in a Marvel TV show, uh, is potentially going to be part of the MCU and only further his exposure where other people are going to explore this content on Netflix. So that is really good. And when you finish a show, Netflix, right? People, I think, are going to go back to this and discover it. And because it's so well made and so unique and very charming and deals with difficult subjects in a respectful manner, that I think that you're going to have many individuals revisit this and say, wow, what a great show. And one of the areas that you don't want to be in is that some people are going to go, wow, that was a great show. I just wish they finished it. And they only had one more to go. What were they thinking? Right? So, Netflix, I think that when you're thinking about longevity and other people discovering the show, and when you're almost finished and it's 8 episodes, that, yeah, why wouldn't you make the investment? To tell you the truth, I think that there should always be like an exit plan if I were in Netflix for all of the shows to say, like, okay, what we're going to try to do is I always want you to think that if you can't have another season, that there's a movie or, another way that we can end this. So that way their content library doesn't feel so unfinished, right? You go, well, I'm looking through the bargain bin of a whole bunch of things that I'm going to probably enjoy, but be upset that it's not finished. That's what I would do if I were Netflix because I see they invest in lots of new shows, but then never finish and try to wait for the you know next hit. But in order to get people to continue watching and staying, because to tell you the truth, I'm gonna say this for Heartstopper, I watched it and I have the ad free or the ad version of Netflix at the time. Eventually, my boyfriend got so tired of the ads that I said, you know what? Yeah, I am enjoying the show. I would like less ads, and I upgraded. So that was after even, to tell you the truth, watching after Stranger Things. I was like, you know what? I'm not sure if I want to keep Netflix. I don't know. So this is a show that actually got me to upgrade. So just wanted to put that out there. So as far as the cons, uh, so the viewership for after season one dropped by 30%. Okay, so that's not good, right? Um, Now, also the time waiting, like they mentioned in the article, for waiting for a new renewal notice, the longer it takes, the more difficult and unlikely I feel like it is. Uh, a lot of these actors are probably having very busy schedules now, especially Kit Connor and Joe Locke, the main characters, in regards to this story. And you're not going to sit around going, well, I hope they renew it. If you're an actor trying to wait for work and while the door's open, yeah, you got to walk through it. So, they have a schedule that you're going to have to work with around. And the longer you take, the more possibility that they're going to get more work. Now, yes, I think that age is a concern, but to tell you the truth, Netflix has a very short window to renew this that they're going to decide. So let's not wait around and say, you know what, let's do a movie later on. Let's do it now. So Netflix record of canceling is working against us, unfortunately. So I'm hoping that this article release and this statement by Alice is not a strategic move to try to get more interest in the show to increase the likelihood of renewal. Because for me, that's a sign that potentially maybe negotiations and talks are not going well. Um, I hope it is to say, like, you know what, here's some positive news, guys. It looks like we're making some headways. And that's just like her being honest and in regards to it. And then, yes, the influence that way, but not like Netflix going, we don't want to really renew this. And she says, I'm going to release this article because that's where I get concerned of like, why is this coming out? And I was like, XO Kitty was renewed so quickly. And what's going on here? So I'm just going to leave it off there. What are your thoughts about Exo Kitty being renewed? Do you agree with my pro and con list, my wants and dislikes of the season? Maybe I'm completely off. I had an 8 out of 10. What's your rating? Now, for Heartstopper Season 4, are you excited for this? Do you agree with my pros and cons of the potential renewal status? I'm leaving it positive because I just want to be optimistic that it will get a Season 4 because it's only one last season and you already have the content there. And the actors are doing so well that hopefully it will increase viewership. Netflix doesn't really advertise their show, so yeah, just pointing that out. So, thank you. Leave a comment, like, subscribe, and until next time, stay safe, everyone. Bye.